Hello everyone, and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Hadi, and he is in the Friesland, a tier 9 pan-European destroyer. He is on the map Tears of the Desert in a 3-point domination game. There is a carrier, but it's only tier 8. And well, the Friesland is actually a pretty good anti-air boat. Well, as much as anti-air still exists, I suppose. So there are Tallinn and the Salem for radar. And the Friesland does have some pretty nice hydro. So he's using it right now, and he has hydroed the Kitakaze, who is going to make a run for it here. It looks like somebody has detected him, but so far it seems okay. Not sure if too many ships are going to find interest in him. And he's already going towards this island, I think, to break vision. He's far enough away that the Salem's radar is currently no concern. Unfortunately, Hydro is going to run out soon, but for now it still offers some protection because he's going to see torpedoes coming. In a situation like this, you'd ask yourself, has the Kitakaze torped through here? You don't know if his torpedoes are ready or not, but with Hydro, you'd see them coming, so there is no risk with crossing here. Now, when the game started, Hadi and his division mate, they spawned in the center. There were 4 destroyers, so both of them went to the center to take the camp and were unopposed. So that was already a good start. Now it looks like he has briefly spotted the Kitakaze again, and he is under attack by a carrier. Now, of course, you know, yeah. That's why I was saying, like, you know, anti-air boat is... did you just see what the carrier did to him? That's a tier 8 carrier. That's an anti-air... Oh, right. I mean, the Friesland is supposed to have good anti-air. He had defensive fire running. He was engaging those tier 8 carrier planes as best as he could, and they just absolutely smacked him. Because, you know, that's... Well, this works. Now, his friend in the Benham has a bit of an issue because he's being pushed by Pommern, and Pommern has 6-kilometer hydro, so that's going to be a bit of an issue, but it looks like the Benham is going to escape. Now, he's used his own smoke screen here. Obviously, he didn't want to get closer to the Pommern, so he couldn't use the smoke screen of his division mate, and now he is going to get some pew-pew going. Now, a Friesland doesn't have torpedoes, so... The point of a Friesland is oftentimes to just sit in smoke and shoot things. Now you have a very powerful smoke screen because it lasts. And well, you have some pretty decent gunpowder. Now the Friesland is reasonably concealed, I guess, and with the hydro you can try to like hunt down destroyers if the situation arises. But your damage output will come from mostly from you sitting in smoke and shooting things with your guns. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of... The Friesland is a good ship, but I'm personally not the biggest fan because I like... Well, I just like torpedoes, I guess. You know? Well, anyway. So, the enemy controls A, the friendlies are flipping C here. We are equal on ships. So far, so good. Of course, it would be nice if Hadi had more hit points left, but hey, you know, he's a tier 9 destroyer with good anti-air, and the carrier smacked him once, so obviously he doesn't have much hit points left. I'm laugh crying again, I suppose. So anyway, we have a Tallinn and a Sommers inside the beacon. Now the Sommers isn't that big of a deal for the Friesland and the Benham together. Well, I mean, they're both not the healthiest ships. Benham obviously not really a gunboat, but the Benham could provide like the ice while the Friesland provides the pew-pew. But we will see. Now, Friesland concealment is 6.4 kilometers, and considering it has pretty good gunpower, that's good enough. But against like a Sommers, he is not going to get close very easily. That's obviously where the Benham spotting could come in. But the Tallinn is going to make this rather problematic, because, well, Tallinn has radar. Well, the Somers is leaving anyway. There is potentially a Kitakaze still around. Now, with the Hydro, we know it's not that... Well, okay, now we see it. I was just saying, with the Hydro, we know it's not that close, but Hydro just picked it up that second. Now, unfortunately, Hydro is going to run out here. Which means he's no longer forewarned if there were torpedoes coming through here. Once again, the carrier is coming back though, so he's popping a smoke screen. He doesn't want to be smacked again. Unfortunately, oh, well, he shot down some planes. That's amazing. Now, meanwhile, he's also using this smoke screen to just farm the Montana. We don't know how close the Tallinn is. Honestly, yeah, there's the radar. I was just thinking I'd expect the radar to be there. But Tallinn radar isn't lasting too long. The Tallinn itself can shoot him, and if this Montana isn't paying attention, then oh no, the Montana's guns are just pointing this way now. But will the Montana reload in time? Turns out no. So that was nice. I mean, depending on the Montana's RNG, he could have possibly sunk the Friesland. It's not what I would expect, but I would expect at least a 3,000 to 4,000 damage hit if the Montana got its guns off here. So now he's unfortunately missing targets to shoot. Yeah, the Montana is spotted again, but it's behind an island. Now the Benham was obviously also forced away by the radar. The Benham could now try to come back to provide some more spotting here, but the smoke screen isn't going to extend far enough to Tallinn anyway, I would expect. Now meanwhile, we have up in the north, the friendly carrier is actually, well, I mean, he's running away there. Well, he's still protected by Kronstadt, and Friedrich's probably hunted by a Fletcher, possibly the Asashio. I'm not sure why that Parseval isn't going destroyer hunting. I mean, he has torpedo planes, so... Well, okay, it's a Parseval, so torpedo planes are not the worst at hunting destroyers again. But it doesn't look like he's really going to spot them. Well, we shall find out. The friendlies really could use another camp. They are slightly... I mean, it's equal on ships. They're slightly behind on points. It's not that trust... Oh, that's nice. So, with the Tallinn gone, our Friesland can now go in there and grab some B camp. Meanwhile, the enemy carrier is spotted. We have a Shimakaze that's, well, probably getting wrecked. The thing is, you know, hunting down carriers like this is usually not going to... Well, I mean, it's a very risky affair. If the carrier actually cares about the health, or if the carrier pays any attention to the map, they are gonna sink. The Shimakaze can't do anything against planes. So the carrier is going to get all of his 3 strikes off, assuming he has a full squadron. The only thing you can do is hide in smoke, and smoke won't last forever. And then what? There is nothing close by that can even shoot down planes. So he's always going to get 3 strikes off. Meanwhile, Friesland is... well, Friesland is detected, and it's the Asashio, but, you know, he's found the Asashio. So this Asashio is doomed. Honestly, once the Asashio saw the Friesland, what he needed to do was turn around. As quickly as possible, turn around and get the hell out of it. But the Asashio just kept going forward, and now it's way too late. He's inside the Hydro. Now Hardy has used his smoke screen, not because he's that afraid of Asashio guns, I presume, but there might be other ships shooting him. And, you know, he needs to preserve his health. So that Asashio is down. Now he can pew-pew the Iowa a bit. Overall, still a pretty close battle, and obviously like this Shimakaze was something now. So this Shimakaze wasted a lot of time going down the zone wall to find a carrier, and then died without sinking the carrier. It's just sad. Meanwhile, the friendlies actually lost the carrier. It turns out the Friedrich and the Kronstadt weren't really much of a protection. Also, it turns out that I guess the carrier was neglecting to hunt down the destroyers. So, you know, that's a shame. Meanwhile, Hardy is using his armor piercing here because the Iowa is full broadside, and he is consistently scoring quite a bit of damage. So the Iowa is going down long before the smoke run. Well, unless obviously he no longer can see it. The Iowa was acquired again. Now that would have been a problem. If the Iowa managed to get into concealment, like usually if you are a destroyer and a battleship rushes you in a smoke screen, you're just going to torpedo. But the Friesland doesn't have torpedoes, so... The thing about the Friesland is, if you just charge the Friesland in its smoke screen, it's screwed. Unless, obviously, the Friesland can farm you before you get killed. Or a Friesland could just exit the smoke screen and just, you know, disappear. But... Friesland is really vulnerable because, you know, without the torpedoes, you don't have any close quarters defense. Now the enemy carrier might be coming back here again. The friendlies don't have too many ships left. And somebody is contesting this camp. Probably the Fletcher. Not sure how healthy it's going to be. Now the Benham's concealment is about the same as a Fletcher. Might be 100 meters. I'm actually not sure right now. It might be 100 meters better. But it's roughly the same. So yeah, if they are going to be spotting each other most likely. And the Benham is way too low on health. The Kitakaze also joined this fight. And the smokescreen is running out, so Adi here is going to gun down the Fletcher. But the problem is, he still detected the carrier is coming in. He almost has a smoke ready, but... Oh, the Kitakaze is down too. I didn't... well, that's going to save his bacon, I suppose. If he was being shot at by a Kitakaze right now, he'd be pretty dead. The Montana got a bit of a hit in. Obviously, the carrier is trying to sink in here too. He's on very low health, but the carrier is here with torpedo planes, so... That's very helpful. If the carrier was here with rocket planes, you know, he'd gotten a strike in and would have sunk Adi there. But thankfully that was not the case. So the friendlies are one ship ahead, but there is a problem, right? They are slightly behind on points. That's going to be okay with the fleet. The biggest issue that I have is the enemy has a carrier. And, well, I mean, while Hadi has decent anti-air on paper, the carrier can easily sink him, right? There's no contest. If the carrier counts with a rocket plane throwing, he's dead. Unless the carrier completely screws up, like, there is nothing he can. And there come the rocket planes, but he's still in smokescreen. Now, okay, if he blind drops in smokescreen, then maybe he's not dead again. So I'm not sure why the carrier did that, to be honest. He could have just, once he saw that there was still a smokescreen, he could have just, you know, disengaged, waited until the smoke disperses. Okay, Friesland smoke takes a long time to disperse, I admit, right? You see there's still 1 minute 10 left. But he could have like sent his planes home and then picked up something else and, you know, dropped the Kronstadt. And once he sees that the smoke is gone, he comes back and hunts down the Friesland. Now what the carrier doesn't know is that this is actually the last smoke screen, so the Friesland won't have any way to disappear again. Then, meanwhile, the enemy Montana is pushing in. It's showing a considerable amount of broadside to the Kronstadt, which isn't going to be very helpful for it. And this Montana is... yeah. He should have probably tried aim. Should have probably tried aim. So, by the way, there was, I think, some chat drama, funny game camping. I think somebody was like accusing the Friesland of being a noob smoke camper or something like that. Didn't pay that much attention to chat, but you know, I mean, it's funny because that's exactly what the Friesland's designed to do. It's like, you know, the enemy team basically accused Hadi of playing well. They think that's an insult, I guess. I don't know. It's like, oh no, you noob, you played so well. It's in a way hilarious, well, or equally hilarious as sad, as is World of Warships a lot of days. So there is that. So if you want to amuse yourself, I guess you can also pay attention to chat. well, you know, Shokaku is coming in trying to drop the Kronstadt. At this point, they lost the Montana without getting anything out of it. That's basically sealed the deal, I'd say. The enemy carrier can still sink Hadi and the Friesland, but he won't have the time to sink Hadi and the Kronstadt and the Friedrich, right? I mean, that's just too many hit points. There's not enough time. So honestly, you know what? Let's just speed this up. See what the carrier... You see, like, the carrier still has relatively full squadrons. Like, Hadi himself has shot down almost 50 planes by now, but the carrier isn't really lacking for planes. Not sure what the others have. Well, okay, this squadron looks a bit depleted. So, you know, now the friendlies are just going to tick to 1,000. Oh, well, maybe the time is running out before that. Which brings us to the results, and Hadi himself 3,173 base experience, and, you know, nicely played. Nicely played. He basically did what the Friesland's supposed to do, you know. He set a lot in smoke and farmed ships with his guns. Now, while he did that, he achieved the anti-air defense expert Confederate, a high caliber, not quite a Kraken, he sunk 4, but, you know, almost a Kraken, I suppose. And obviously he also took caps, because that's also a destroyer's job. And he did very well there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Maybe hit a laugh or two, and I'll see you guys next time.